have special guests we would like to present to you just for a few moments as we get ready for Rev Sekou. Are you ready for Rev Sekou? All right, we have Beatrice DeBerry coming. She's a community building and engagement manager at Wayfinders. And we're going to just present some really powerful information that we hope that you are able to take back to your families and your neighbors to be able to share and spread this initiative in Springfield. We can make positive changes together. Do you agree? Say yes! All right.
Hello everyone, how are you? First I want to share a little bit about myself. I am the grandchild of a civil rights martyr. I'm the child of a civil rights activist. Activism is in my blood, and I hope that you all feel the same way. An important issue that we all need to be mindful of, think about, and acting on is climate change. As climate justice activists, we all know we're seeing the extreme heat, we're feeling the effects of climate change in our community, in our health, and it's particularly affecting Black, Indigenous, and people of color more adversely in our city neighborhoods than in other communities. For that reason and for all the other reasons that we know that we need to step up, take action, I encourage you to support two policies that we're hoping to advance in the city of Springfield. One is the Race and Health Equity Impact Assessment, and the other is Community Choice Energy. We'd like for you to learn more about these policies by visiting livewellspringfield.org. But I also want to introduce you to some people who are actively involved in the movement. We have a climate justice initiative here in Springfield called the CCHE, I'm so used to saying the acronym. It's Climate Change, Health, and Equity. In this initiative, we have several partners. We have Pioneer Valley Planning Commission, Public Health Institute of Western Mass, Neighbor to Neighbor, Arise for Social Justice, and Wayfinders. We also have residents. We have people just like you who are out there standing up, raising their voices, and encouraging others to get active. So I want to introduce a few of them to you so you can also hear their message for change. First, I'm going to start, before we do that though, I want to introduce one of our elected leaders who we know supports the movement, and that's State Senator Adam Gomez. If you could give him a round of applause.
Thank you so much. Much appreciate the time just to bring greetings from the Massachusetts State Senate. My name is Adam Gomez. I am the State Senator for the Hampden District. I represent Springfield, Chicopee, and West Springfield. And I want to let you guys know how important climate change is. When I first started as an advocate, as a young man, part of Neighbor to Neighbor, part of the Climate Justice Coalition, and with these folks behind us, we were #1 on the as the asthma capital. And now, since I've been elected to the State Senate with the new numbers that have came out, we are number 12. That is a great accomplishment. That's something to be proud of. We also know that there's still work that we need to do. And we can't do it without all of you and understanding that this is an environmental justice community, that we live here, we breathe here. Our children, our grandparents, all of you are so important. And we need to really come together and support this coalition and make sure that these pieces of legislation get across the board. So with that being said, God bless, enjoy the beautiful music. Springfield Jazz Festival, you guys did it again. We thank you, we love you, and let me give it away to the ones that are really on the ground doing the hard work, the advocates. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce a Springfield resident, one of our climate advocates, Miss Emma Woods. And please, Miss Emma, share a little bit about why you're involved in this initiative.
Hello, everyone. Wave your hand if you hear me. I got involved after I retired from Springfield Public Schools. I wanted to find what can I do in Springfield. Born and raised here is always something to do. So I start talking and being invited to different things. And this climate change, it was a curiosity to me. I was like, I don't smoke, I don't have asthma, I don't have all these things going on, but I was curious. And I've been in it now a year strong. I wanted to know why that my granddaughter is 30 now and she has asthma. I wanted to know why my husband has COPD and he passed away. I wanted to know why different ones grew up and had bronchitis. I look all the way back in my story when I used to live in the low income down in Riverview Project. We used to have incinerators. And incinerators is where they burn the trash. And it was at the end of each one of the rooms, the floors. But I just thought that if you smoked, you get sick, but you don't have to, because you can be around smokers. Or, I believe it's just in the air. But born and raised in Springfield, I've seen a lot, and I'm still trying to learn a lot. So that's why I got involved, and I'm in for the long haul. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Emma. Next, I'd like to introduce resident advisor and climate advocate, Amari Dewberry.
Get money out of politics.
Hello everyone, how are you feeling today? I just want to ask everyone in here, how many people ever heard your mama or whoever played the mama role in your life say, I brought you in this world and I can take you out? Well, I would just like to say that the very first person who ever said that before any of our mamas said that was Mama Earth. I need us to understand that Mama Earth is not only the home we live on, but it is a spirit, it is a living being, it is an organism that we must respect and cherish if we're going to keep living here. A little background about me. I grew up as a tree hugger child. While everyone else was running around, scraping up their knees, I was worried about recycling, preserving water, the climate change, global warming. I was deeply concerned about those things at a young age, and that is part of a big reason why I got involved in this work. I know that climate change can sometimes seem like an overwhelming topic. A lot of people in the past have said that they felt left out of the conversation. They felt like it didn't concern them. They felt like it was something that they could wait to be concerned about. I can wait, I can wait, I can wait. Well, I'm here to tell you that your waiting time is starting to come to an end, and we need to start getting serious about this. We have here it's time to get serious about this. We are an organization, Climate Change Health organization. We are working together diligently, coming up with initiatives and projects to help beat this climate change, to improve our air quality for those of us who live here. And I need you, my people of color, to understand that this concerns you first. You may think this concerns you last. No, this concerns you first. Because when your living environment no longer is livable, what you think was gonna happen to you first? You know what I'm saying? So please take this serious, get involved, learn about what we have to do. Your 2% can do wonders for this earth. All right, much love, peace, and happiness to you all. I wish you all a good night. Thank you.
Okay, so yes, I'm a proud mother because that is my daughter. Next, I'd like to introduce Ernesto Cruz. He is the Regional Field Coordinator for Neighbor to Neighbor. And Neighbor to Neighbor is one of the partner organizations on the Climate Change Health and Equity Initiative.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. What a great festival, right? All right, I'm going to come and interrupt a little bit with some dire news, but we'll get back to having fun in a second. With the new IPCC reports, it looks like Worcester is going to be beachfront property if we don't make a big change in the way that we act around energy and climate, right? So if you already got property out in Worcester, you're going to have a beach, you're going to make some money, but we're going to lose Boston. That is not acceptable. We got to think globally, act locally. So this group right here is working to do things that mitigate the issues surrounding climate change in the whole world so that we don't have another tornado, we don't have winter storms, we don't have issues like this. Right now, energy is a human right. We need to make sure that everybody has energy The seniors in the city of Springfield and young people, there's high asthma rates, lots of dialysis, lots of issues around health. It's not about profit. It's not about profit, it's about people's livelihoods, and that's something that we all have to work together on. I hope that you will all join. I hope that you will all support these initiatives. It's important that we all work together to make sure that there's community-owned energy, that there's city-owned energy, solar panels. We cannot burn anything else. We should not have any more gas. This is something that we have to move out of. So please support, please get involved. These people are doing the work that supports all of our lives. So even if you can't do anything, stay out the way or support them. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Hello? Okay, sorry about that. Thank you, Ernesto. Others on the stage, I want to introduce, they're not going to speak other than our guest speaker, who I will introduce in a second. But first, I'd like to introduce Antonio DeLeslin. He is a resident health advocate at Wayfinders, a climate advocate under the Live Well Springfield Coalition. I'd like to introduce Sarita Hudson. She is the, I'm going to get this title, Director of Programs and Development for the Public Health Institute of Western Mass. And now I'd like to introduce you to someone who's extremely, I literally have to pull up a little bit of her biography because she's that awesome and amazing. But I'd like to introduce Reverend Mariama White Hammond. And Reverend Mariama White Hammond is Chief of Environment, Energy, and Open Space for the City of Boston. In this role, she's responsible, yes. She's responsible for leading the cabinet in achieving its mission of enhancing environmental justice and quality of life in Boston by protecting air, water, climate, and land resources. All of the valuable things that we need to live well. She's also a pastor at New Roots. I messed up the church name before, so I'll let her fix that. But New Roots Church in Dorchester, Massachusetts. And she is an environmental activist and pretty phenomenal. So we'd like to have her share a few words with us.
So I will be short. I am a preacher, but I will make sure that I'm not up here too long because I know y'all came out here to hear some music. So I just want to take a moment because I'm glad to be here. We're not far away in Boston. And one of the reasons I came out is to be with my good friend, Reverend Sekou, who I don't get to see enough. We met a little bit after Hurricane Katrina had hit the Gulf Coast. We were with a group of folks organizing around juvenile justice issues. And ever since I was a little girl, I've been organizing on different things. I tried to start a homeless shelter at my house as a kid. I always laughed that my mother let me hang up the signs, but she probably knew if you were legit homeless, you weren't gonna go to a shelter where the advertisement was in crayon. You probably were a little concerned that that might not have all the services you need. But I was engaged from a very young age, and I grew up in the 90s in Boston when violence was at its height. But a real turning point for me was when I watched what happened in New Orleans. And I went from going to thinking about the environment as something that like hikers and people that shop at EMS and REI, they care about it, to really seeing what would happen to my city, to my community, to my people, if we were hit by a hurricane and the ravages of climate. And so I've worked on a lot of other things, immigrant justice, I've gotten arrested working with workers fighting for fair wages, but all of these things are deeply connected. Because I've come to believe that we are at a turning point in human history, where we're gonna make a choice to do better and to be better, or we're gonna go down together. One little dinghy, all of us laying on it together, trying to figure out how to survive. So I come from Boston, but I wanna give a shout out to Springfield, because you all stopped that biomass plant and said no to false solutions in this city. I wanna give a shout out to Springfield, because after for many years being the #1 capital for asthma, I saw you at the State House testifying, organizing, working to bring justice to this community. And right now, we need Springfield to continue rising up with people in Boston and people around the country and around the world who are pushing back on the idea that we should let our economy just go the way it's always been going, allowing some of us to suffer while a few people do well, and the planet goes down in the meantime. So I hope you are out here excited to hear some music, but I hope that when your spirit lifts, you start asking the question, what am I going to do to fight for the future of the human race? People say it's about the planet. Let me just be clear. The planet's gonna be okay. She's been around a long time, but we've pushed her to the point where she said, if only one of us can survive, I know who's got to go. So we are fighting for our own survival, not just for the planet. And I think we are almost ready, but I think I'll close us really quickly with a song that we sing in the climate movement, and maybe you all can sing along with me, and then you'll get ready to hear the real legit professional band. Right. How many people have heard this song? People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna calm this crisis down. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna calm this crisis down. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna calm this crisis down. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna calm this crisis down. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. I say climate justice now. I say climate justice now. I say climate justice now.
Thank you. So I just want to say all of you have been left with a charge to get involved, a charge to become activists, a charge to advance policy. So I hope that you will take that and run with it. And make sure you check out the livewellspringfield.org page for more information on how to get involved. Thank you.